Hello and welcome to another edition of the Archeryshack Shop Talk. I'm Jeremy.
I'm TJ.
We're back again. This is podcast 48. 48th week of podcasting. Happy to be here with y'all. Thank you for listening, watching, whatever you're doing.
Yep.
We got to throw out, as we have been lately, on August the 22nd, we're doing a big giveaway. It's going to be our 1-year podcast anniversary. We're giving away a recurve bow. We've got a home
tune kit.
Yeah, like a tune kit with levels and all kinds of stuff in it. That'll be a whole package giveaway. And we also got a sponsored, we had KJ that watches Karowski. He said, hey, I'll pay for a bowstring if you want to give it away. So he's sponsored a bowstring set giveaway for whoever. So
Yep.
we got those three things. May have more stuff by the time we get to the 22nd, but it'll be August the 22nd. That's a Saturday. Going live at 6 p.m., probably last 45 minutes or an hour, and toward the end of it, we'll start giving away stuff. So tune in. It'll be live on YouTube. To comment and get in the whole thing, you'll need, you'll have to have some kind of Google account, a Gmail or whatever, so that you'll show up on there. A lot of folks have commented and said, I can watch, but it won't let me comment. That's because you don't have some sort of a Google account, Gmail, YouTube, whatever, something that Google owns. You got to have an account. So get all that straight before then, and looking forward to giving away a bunch of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Who knows what we'll have by then. All sorts of stuff going on. We're a lot of bows still coming in, probably more than we've ever had, so that's good, and somewhat scary. But,
yeah.
A lot of 50% of the people that come in are talking about the ranch ferry. We've brought him up before. Think it's pretty much a good concept. So we're looking at, when things slow down, maybe making a video explaining the whole process in one video. Because when people first started talking about him, we were like, "What the hell's a ranch ferry?"
Yeah.
And you got to watch about 12 videos to put together what exactly he's doing, which is nothing new. It's just he put a spin on it. You know what I mean? I think maybe it's a good thing for archery because a lot of people are watching him. So maybe in some form or fashion he'll promote archery. But it'd be nice to just make a video and say, "Hey, this is sort of the process in one video. Watch this. You'll have it figured out." But we've done some ranch ferry style tuning. What that is pretty much is bumping up your spine, putting an extremely heavy tip on the front of the arrow, figuring out which tip makes it fly the best. You know, we're talking like 300 grains, 200 grains, 175 grains, or whatever it ends up being. And then taking the arrows and doing sort of a noctune. But I've been doing a little bit of a twist on that because we already did a thing called a spine index. We got the little machine and we spin them and find the weak and the stiff spine. And ultimately at home, that's what a noctune is doing. So that just puts us a step ahead of the game. But anyway, a lot of people coming in talking about him. So a lot of people's come in that found us on here. So thank you for watching, and it's pretty cool. They come in like, "Hey, I found you on YouTube." So I'd have never thought the internet or the YouTube or the whatever would have.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's crazy. So
imagine if we'd had the internet back whenever we were at Bucks and Bass.
A lot of bows being dropped off. A lot of crazy stuff. They canceled the IBO, the last IBO shoot in Seven Springs, Pennsylvania. I guess the state pretty much said, nope, COVID's not going to let y'all do that. So it's done.
Yeah.
Canceled some more total archery challenges.
They canceled 2 TAC events, I think.
Yeah.
Vermont and what was the other one?
I can't remember.
I know I seen it. It was Vermont.
I feel like, I can't remember where it was at. But anyway, yeah, a bunch of that. So this year's shot as far as all that goes. Locally, if you're local, we've got 2 shoots that I can think of coming up. Kiwi Bowman has their last shoot in August called the Bowhunter Jamboree. It's all deer targets. It's geared toward bow hunters. Pretty cool shoot. Go check it out. It's up there right above Clemson, 6 Mile, South Carolina. I don't remember the exact date. It's mid-August. I should have had a date ready.
I think maybe the 18th, I think is what it is, if I remember right.
Anyway, KiwiBowman.com will tell you all that information. And also, Joey Caraway is putting together an August Sunday afternoon shoot, and it's going to be a 10-target sort of mixture of ASA and Total Archer Challenge. I think it's going to be, I think he said known yardage, but it's going to be like max of 70 yards. We're giving them stuff to give away, and other people are too, so it'll be a neat thing. So
Yeah.
you'll see flyers. I'll be promoting it too to help him out. We'll be putting out some information on that soon on the website and Instagram and all that. I got to do better. Well, you're usually not this busy, so I got more time to kind of post stuff. But I've sucked at, I'm usually good at it, but I have sucked at posting anything on Facebook and Instagram. But if you're local or whatever, we got a bunch of prime bows that just came in. We got a bunch of bear crossbows. Big arrow shipment just came in. Spot hog just came in. If you need any of that, holler at us. We'll see what we can do.
Yep.
Get you fixed right up. And the prime stuff, we got a lot of everything now. A lot of ones, a whole lot of threes, several fives. We got Fast Eddies that came in. We got Spot Hog releases, all kinds of stuff. Broadheads, all kind of different broadheads came in. Some of those sick broadheads I'd like to test myself. So, still got to do our broadhead test. People keep asking about it. I keep bringing it up. It's probably going to be when we get over the peak of this busy season before we can really get to testing them, because it's just I'm on a we're recording this on Saturday, so we're closed the next 2 days, and I'm gonna come out here and as many bows as I can get restrung as possible, and it'll still won't touch how many we got sitting here. So we're just trying to get caught up or stay caught up or something, because I know in the next month it's gonna get worse.
Yeah.
And here we go.
Probably about August 1st, I would imagine.
Yeah. So. Had a cool setup a while ago. Guy called this morning, had bought a new bow and whole 9 yards off the internet, which is completely fine. And he said, I need to bring it in, get it set up, need to do everything. So he came in, and it was actually a fairly relaxing deal. You know what I mean? Literally took everything, set it up to him, got his peep right, got the third axis set, got his arrows made for him, the whole 9 yards. It's just neat. And he was had a lot of excitement about it, so I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
But nice setup. He had an obsession bow, spot hog sight, Hampsky rest. He bought the axis. The what's the ones where they pre-weigh them and the straightness is like 1,000. The crap! I wasn't trying to think of it.
I can't remember.
Anyway, he had the fanciest of axis arrows, 5 millimeters, and anyway, it all worked out good. 500 or 450 grain arrow, bullet hole through the paper, the whole 9 yards. So that was cool. I like. It was one of those like we're backed up, and I kind of wanted to be like, can you just leave it with me? But I was like, nah, this guy's too excited. He's really wanting to shoot, and so we spent an hour and got him nice and set up. It was pretty cool.
It's about nap time.
A nap would be nice.
Yeah.
We're going to have to start. We don't have a second or a third shift. I guess we'll have to just take us a nap and keep going.
Probably so.
But anyway, so that's the tournaments left. If you're local, we're still throwing around the idea of a late August, early September shoot here at the shop. But honestly, what's going to depend on that is if we can, how the next month goes, because if it's kind of like it is now, we just don't have time to do it, which sucks.
Yeah, it does.
'Cause I don't think we've ever really went this long without having a shoot of some sort. But it's people don't see the behind the scenes. It pretty much takes a lot of time to get those targets out and the lanes good and clear and the stakes out and the whole scorecard ready and this, that, and the other. And then the day of, you can pretty much count that off as far as working on much stuff, because there's so many people coming in to shoot, and you got to, I don't want to be a hermit and not come out and speak to people type thing. And then that night or the day after, you got to get everything back up. So it kills 2 or 3 days. And with the quantity we got coming in, that's not really good. It can't happen right now, but we're hoping we can get something going. We'll announce that as soon as we get something together, or if we don't, that's fine. But we'll get something going. But we usually do a late August, early September shoot and have a little bit of food. And it's like our deer season starts mid-September, so it's like the final get ready thing or whatever. But this year's been crazy.
Yeah, maybe if we don't do one late August, early September, maybe we need to break out those zombie shoot in October again.
Yeah, yeah.
Or not the zombie, the pumpkin shoot.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, if you're listening and you're local, we need a guy that can be the shoot man. He could come. Of course, you'd be compensated. You put out the targets, get the lanes ready, kind of get everybody squared away and registered the day of, and then taking the targets up is not as bad because we can buzz down through there and throw them in the back of the truck. But the putting out's kind of it takes a little while because you got to get them just right and all that. But if you're local and you need something to do on the weekend occasionally, let us know because we could make that work.
Preferably either swing by the shop or send us an email.
Yeah, swing by and we'll chat. But anyway, what else is going on in the hunting world?
OPA and Beaufest is going on. I know the shoot-off, well, this is coming out Tuesday, but it's today's Saturday, so it's tonight at 5:30, I think they said. It may already be on.
Yeah, that I don't know. I've seen some posts about it, not a lot, like you would an ASA shoot or something, but that could possibly be a growing thing with Beaufest and OPA coming together. If you're not familiar, Beaufest, I guess, is something that's happened before up north, and it's just a big get together and shoot, of hunting type folk. And then the OPA was the thing Levi Morgan several years ago put together. It's meant for the pros or whatever, but it's a known yardage, longer distance 3D style shoot. And I think everybody hoped it would really explode, and I'm not saying it did bad, but I don't think it got the momentum everybody thought it might get. So they teamed up with Beaufest to kind of combine both events, and I guess it worked out pretty good. But like TJ said, sometime this evening as we're recording this, they're doing the shoot-off. So
well, it said 5:30, but I'm not sure if they're an hour behind us. But I just checked, and I didn't see a live feed from Bow Junkie.
Yeah, so it might be an hour behind us.
Yeah.
These big shot targets people are still going crazy about. That was another thing today. There's 3 or 4 people in here talking about targets, and all we got to do is tell them, fire an arrow into that demo target over there, and they'll shoot an arrow in it, and you can take 2 fingers. We had a guy with a Raven crossbow in here the other day. It does 400 and whatever feet per second, and he shot it from 5 or 6 feet away in 2 fingers and popped it right out. And it's just like immediate sale. They're pretty slick. Unfortunately, we have looked into
shipping.
We had several people say, "Hey, I'd love to have one of those. Can you ship me one?" But these things, even the little 18-inch one probably weighs 40 pounds. Without paying an arm and a leg, there's no way to ship it. So we're still. If anybody has any ideas, I'd love to know. But as far as I can tell, there's no cheaper way to ship it without having like $50 or more in the shipping. That wouldn't be worth it. So anyway, we got that going on. We got had a little chat with a guy a while ago about tip weight, and he was pretty much along the Ranch Fairy lines, but I don't think he's been watching Ranch Fairy. He's just been reading on Archery Talk, and he was like, "I'd like to just shoot a 200 grain tip." And I said, "Well, what spine are you shooting?" And he's shooting like a 400 spine. So, he thought he could just put the tip on and roll with it, and I'm like, "No, you got to get a stiffer spine if you go with a heavier tip. The tip breaks down the spine." So, like, his particular setup, if he was shooting a 400 like he sat with a 100 grain tip, if he'd have went to a 200 to 300 grain tip, he'd have probably been in a 300, 250 spine range. You know what I mean? He would have really had to. What'll happen is, first of all, it'll fly like crap. And if it were to fly semi-okay with the field tip, when you put that broadhead on there, it's really going to fly like crap with it being that underspined. It would be equivalent to us taking a 500 or 600 spine arrow and shooting it out of a 60 or 70 pound bow. It just, not
it just
good.
don't work.
Yeah. So that's how that works. You can't necessarily, it's just according to your exact setup. I can't say this is the only way it works, but if you're shooting 100 grain, you can bump it up to a 125, maybe even a 150. I don't know. But most of the time you get over that, you need a stiffer spine.
Yeah.
So, and then the stiffer spine means more arrow weight. And that's how these boys are getting 700, 800, 900 grain arrow setups is like that. So I was thinking about it today because I don't think some people understand spine,
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, what you're not wanting to happen is the arrow break in half when you hit the trigger. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it flexes so much, it's going to snap.
Yep.
And that's why it's two reasons heavier spine is needed. One, you got to have at least 5 grains per pound. So, like if we shot a 500 spine out of our bow, there's a possibility we would almost be dry firing it because 5 grains per pound. So, a 70-pound bow, that's a 350 grain arrow. With a 500 spine, according to who makes it and all, we could be looking at a lot less than that. The second reason is, there's a thing called Archer's paradox. That arrow flexes as you shoot it out of the bow. With a finger shooter, a recurve, it's going to flex left and right. With a compound bow, it flexes up down, mainly because even if your nock travel is almost perfect, that's where the little bit of variation is up and down. But anyway, you don't want that thing to flex too much, I guess is where I'm going with it. So, if you were to put that huge weight up front and it flex a whole lot, you could possibly get injured. Probably not going to happen, but it could. So, be careful. Be careful. Like I say, if you're just going up 25 or 50 grains, you might have some room to play, but don't go from like a 100 to a 300 grain tip.
No.
Because it could get wild.
Oh, yeah.
Buck wild. But had some Conquest stuff come in. We had ordered the stabilizer set that was the hunter, what was it called, the complete hunter set. That was pretty neat.
Yeah.
And then we got some of the cheaper bars to put on the wall. That's if you need stabilizers, we can send you some Conquest bars. You can check them out. They're actually a real high end bar, but they got a few different price points, you know what I mean? They got some nice stuff, so it's worth looking into. They got a lot of the higher end ones have stuff they call smack in them, which is just pretty much a rubber material that takes out vibration and all. So the air just kicked on, so you're not gonna hear it, but it'll be okay.
Yeah.
The smackdown.
What they got? What they still got? Do they call them the control freak? Is that
the control freaks were the let me think. I think the control freaks are the middle of the road ones, and then they got some expensive bars, and then they got and they got some nice colors too. Like they got a color that is sort of an ambush green color, and they got some khaki looking colors and all that stuff. So I'm not a big fan, although I hadn't looked at the ones. Well, we hadn't really ordered any, but originally the weights that came with them I didn't like. It's like the anodizing wasn't dark enough, but it's just a weight. It's that's not really that big a deal. The stabilizers themselves look great, but I hope they change that. I heard word that they were after that first production run.
I kind of want to play around with some of the new Excel bars, but
somebody had one that came in here, and I can't remember who it was recently, because I think I put a string or did something to their bow because I had to take it off to put it in that one press. Anyway, it looked nice. What broadhead target do y'all shoot and recommend? We have got these big shot Titan targets. I hadn't messed with them enough to, they're not a bad target by no means, but I hadn't shot them enough to say I love them or hate them or whatever. But there's a lot of not controversy, but some people come in, they got to have a block target. Some people come in, they got to have this target, that target. But what broadhead target do you shoot, and which one do you really like? The thing about the block targets is they're super portable, which these are too.
Oh yeah.
And some of them are on the cheaper end, I guess. But as you shoot them with a broadhead, those layers come out pretty quick. So
yeah.
Anyway, let us know. Let us know what you shoot. TJ had the conversation with a guy today about back tension versus resistance release, and I don't think the guy didn't know the difference in the two.
Yeah.
Tell him the scoop on that.
He was talking about there's a couple guys in here, and we was talking about hunting or whatnot, and he was like, I want to go to. He said, I want to get a back I want to get a back tension release now and start practicing with it. He said because he felt like when he was in the deer woods, he didn't have to worry about flinching or something like that. He could be a surprise shot. And I was like, and I know a lot of people hunt with a back tension now or a hinge or whatever, whatever. And I said, the only thing about that is, and I told him, I said, well, because I had the goat and I never intended to hunt with that release. I shoot my wrist strap so much better, and I've always shot one deer hunting. So I was like, I don't, a hinge or a back tension, if you can shoot it and you feel comfortable enough shooting it in the woods or in deer stand, by all means do it. And the one guy, he's like, I just don't know. And I was like, well, the knock-on one, I think it's called the silverback, is their resistance release. And I said, you take it and you figure out, you put your bow on the draw board, hold it at full draw and see what your holding weight is. And you take it silverback, and let's say you're holding back 7 pounds. Well, probably put another 3 pounds on that release. So you'd be at 10 pounds before, whenever you go to pull into the back wall, it would take 10 pounds of pressure for that release to fire. Mm-hmm. And he's like, well, that's what I was talking about. And I was like, you're talking about a resistance and not a back tension. And so pretty much resistance, you can look up the silverback, but you hold the thumb button down as you draw back. And when you get
to it locked.
It keeps it locked. And whenever you get to your anchor point, you just let the thumb button go, and it's not going to fire, and you start pulling into it, and whenever you hit that set weight that you got it at, it'll fire. And so I told him, I said, at least, and I haven't fooled with one of those, so I don't know that, like, if a deer made a quick move, if you could hammer back down on the thumb button and keep it, from going off.
Yeah, you can.
Okay. So I hadn't messed with one enough to know. And so that way, instead of being into that pull, or rotating your hand to make that release go off, and something was to happen and you're already just about the breaking point, which I know if you shot it enough, I know you can control that release a whole lot better than I can. And so if I was going to go to a handheld for hunting, I would definitely go resistance, but I like my wrist straps too much.
I know people that can use a hinge and this, that, and other hunting, but I don't know. I guess if you were that good, that used to shooting it, but there's just too many. To me, there's too many variables. If y'all shoot one, let us know in the comments. But I don't know. Like, I don't want to have to think about that when I'm trying to shoot a deer. If a big deer walks out, the last thing I need is to mess up and either pull hard into the wall trying to hold it back for too long and it go off, or have to worry about, I don't know. That's just me. And I think 90% of people are in that same boat, but I know there's a few people that do hunt with either resistance or hinges, but I don't think I could deal with it.
The resistance release I could probably get used to more because it's just a simple
pull.
You're aiming and you're pulling through it.
Mm-hmm.
And a hinge or a back tension, I don't know. I hadn't, like I said, I fooled around with it a little bit, but I couldn't get used to it.
The old hinge. If you have not already, I'm just thinking of random stuff. We got a group on Facebook. We're trying to sort of get people in so we can just chat amongst ourselves, but it's called Friends of the Archery Shack. If you're on Facebook and all that, and I think most everybody is, jump in there, and we're slowly playing more and more with it. We went live in there a few times, but YouTube so far has just been easier, but at some point we may start doing, when it slows down, we may start playing around more with getting in there and doing this, that, and other. But if you're on the Facebook, jump in there. We'll chat around. But anyway,
and just don't feel bad if you don't see me and Jeremy posting there a whole lot, because, be honest, sometimes I forget to post something in there, or with everything going on in the shop, it's just, it's hard to get in there.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the weight tolerance. This guy that I was setting that boat for, I think we talked about it a little bit, but weight tolerance on arrows, those match grade, I think that's what they call them, Axis arrows he had got, they're supposed to be within like a grain or two of each other and all this stuff. But if I'm really building a set of arrows, I want to be perfect. I think I've said it on here before, but I'll go ahead and cut them. I'll lay them all out. I'll weigh them, put them from like lightest to heaviest, and then I'll weigh the tips or inserts or whatever I got out, lay them out, and then I'll put like the heaviest tip and the lightest arrow, and they'll end up being a grain or two apart as long as you play with it right.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what he was asking or getting along the lines of was how many grains does it take to notice a difference, and I told him something about, I said I'd like to keep my stuff within about 5 grains of each other. I said, although it, if you're shooting a longer distance, of course it's going to be magnified, but I feel like within about 5 grains on an average hunting bow setup, you're going to be fine. And I mean, I hadn't in a while just took somebody's arrows and weighed them all out, but usually they're within a couple grains without doing anything fancy,
Yeah.
But those match grade ones, I think they sort by weight and by everything. I think they're a good bit more money though. But like even with the Black Eagle stuff, we getting this all the time. We have weighed and spun and done everything you can imagine, and we really can't tell enough difference between a 3/1000 and a 1/1000 arrow enough to justify shooting or whatever the 1/1000. And I just think, back in the day, we used to shoot those carbon force arrows, and I bought a batch of 1/1000, 3/1000, and 6/1000 arrows, all the same arrow, all the same spine, built them, didn't do anything fancy, just straight up built them, went to 80 yards with a big field target, and over shot all those arrows and documented on a chart of a thing I had where they hit, and there was no pattern of the 1/1000s all hit closer, the 3/1000s, they were all, you know what I mean? They were all the same. So after I did that, I was like, all right, I'm sold on not worrying about it. And I mean, you don't want a crooked arrow, but as long as the arrows are within what they advertise and what we found, you've seen on our Black Eagle video, theirs were, I think, all better than what they advertised.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think there's a difference.
But, it could be one of them. We could grab a pack off the shelf and they not spin as good as those did too.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I need to update a Black Eagle video because I know that one, a lot of people will comment and watch that one. I need to update it, but yeah, I need to do an updated video. I need to think of, I don't know what else I could really do. On that video, it was a couple of years ago now, and I do remember it was in the middle of the winter, and I was freezing to death in here, and I had that Black Eagle shooter shirt on. I mean, I was about quivering doing it, and I cut my head off the video, not meaning to because I couldn't see it. But anyway, if you look back in that video, I took pretty much each arrow they make and told the specs of it, and then I put it on a indicator and spun it, to see what the straightness was and all that type of thing. But I need to, I guess we could test a Revelation. They've came out.
Mm-hmm.
I think the 27s are out one. That might be the only arrow that's new, I think. I don't think nothing else has came out, has it?
No, I think we did the PS27s.
Okay.
Because
I think we pretty much did everything.
The Revelation is the new one that they haven't, haven't had in the shop yet.
Yeah.
But those are pricey.
They're really meant for field arrows. They're skinny. They're extremely high. But I wouldn't mind ordering a couple to play with, just to mess with. But maybe we'll update some stuff and do another video where I'm not freezing to death and all that. But anyway, Black Eagle's good stuff.
Yep.
Black Eagle. What arrows do y'all shoot? I guess we have a mixture of East and Black Eagle, mostly Black Eagle. And then we sell a few Carbon Express, a few Gold Tip. But anyway, what do y'all shoot? I'm just curious to know. I know it's been a couple years, the smaller diameter was the big thing, and now I don't know that it's still the big thing. It's just a whatever type of deal. But somebody was in the shop a while ago with those Maximas, the SD, the small diameter Maximas or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of said, I don't know if there's anything fancy about them. They shoot good, but I like them. And I don't know. But I don't guess I have ran across what you'd say a bad arrow in a while now. I can't even think of anybody to call out. But, I mean, I know there's some Chinese. I wouldn't even want to mess with them, but there's Chinese arrows on Amazon and eBay. I wouldn't want to fool with all that. But
there's one, but I'm not going to call no name. DCA? Or,
yeah. I don't even know if they're still around. You know, I think a kid had bought them out of somewhere up north, Michigan, or I don't remember where.
I can't remember.
When the first guy owned it, it was a joke. He had about 1 million field staffers trying to promote it, and pretty much if somebody mentioned arrows, those field staffers were on there fighting, trying to get them to buy through their code. And we shot with that guy down at the beach, and literally his tournament arrows snapped. Like almost all of them snapped when they hit the target, to the point of everybody's like, listen, we can loan you some arrows if you need to. And that's what I was like, this is a joke. I had one blow up. This was early years of this shop being here, but one blew up on a guy paper tuning. Like he hit the trigger and boom. And I don't think it was the end was cracked deal. It broke in the middle. I mean, there was some sketchy stuff going on with them arrows, but anyway, I don't even know if they're still around.
I don't know either.
I know that kid had bought them out several years ago, and the guy that owned it had started some Broadhead company, and it was a big drama-filled mess. But and I knew whatever year they came to the ATA show, I mean, it was like 2014-ish, they had pre-fletched boxes there at the show, and it wasn't like everybody else, you want to pre-order some type thing. They were wanting to sell them. They were wanting you to tote them away right there. And he was like, man, you ain't going to find no arrows no cheaper than this. And I looked at them, and it looked like my 2-year-old had fletched them. I mean, there was glue running down the air. I thought, my Lord, this is a joke. And I was a guy that we know was shooting them at the time on their field staff, and he was pushing me. Man, you need to mess with them. You need to try them out. And when I was talking to him, in the back of my head, I thought, well, maybe I could order a few shafts just to play with. This was before we knew anything bad about them. And anyway, that guy he just, you know, when you meet them certain people and they just come off the wrong way, well, that's the way this guy was. He was just straight salesman, didn't care nothing about anything except selling me a damn box of them arrows that looked like they'd been dipped in glue, and I was like, nope. But anyway, sketchiness.
Yeah, well, you know, as always, right now is everybody's starting to get out and start shooting their bows and everything, starting to think about deer season. You know, before deer season, we'll preach the safety, you know, wear a safety harness, but right now, and we've had this in the shop twice now, and we've never hardly seen this, but always check your limbs and your arrows. Yeah. We've had 2 bows come in with cracked limbs. The one we caught before we shot. The second one we had no idea, and we'd been shooting it a little bit, and
something was way off. And then I handed it to TJ, and he just happened to be like, "Oh shit, look right here."
Yeah.
And anyway, long story short, the guy knew about it. I called him to tell him he had a cracked limb. He's like, "Oh, I know." And I was like, "Oh God, I wish we'd have known about it before we shot it." But
yeah, that would have been some.
But yeah, check your limbs, because there's a lot of tension on them things.
Yeah.
You know, and then the arrows. I mean,
yeah,
you get a crack on the back of that arrow. You can look it up. There's pictures on Facebook every now and then. You're gonna get a blown up arrow in your wrist or hand or something.
Yeah, check your nocks too. A lot of people don't check your nocks, but just you know, look over them. And
one common thing is people will come in and be like, I don't know what it is, but this knock just freely slides in and out, and that's almost 100% sign.
There's a crack somewhere.
Yeah, something's going on with the back of that arrow. So we had that guy out here 2 or 3 years ago, went out there and shot. Same thing, and it blew his whole bow up, you know, because of a freaking messed up back end of an arrow. But
yeah, and if you think your nock is cracked, just pull that nock out and throw it away.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's hard to see a crack in a nock.
When it's like we shoot in 3D tournaments, and TJ, I mean, he's going to shoot, he's going to blast my arrows. He tears up every arrow I got. I mean, I need to start shooting the Walmart arrows or something. But anyway.
Here we go again.
If he does that and I feel like something's been compromised, like he said, even if the knock's not messed up, I'll take the knock out of that because I don't want to accidentally shoot it and it blow up on me, you know. And then
and plus knocks are fairly inexpensive to change out too, and inexpensive as far as a cost wise, just to not have a piece of carbon go through your arm or your wrist or your hand or somewhere.
Yeah, so be careful. I don't know why I thought about this, but we got on one of our Thursday night feeds. So if most people on here, I think, watch it most of the time. But if you're new, we do 2 or 3 videos a week. We do this podcast. Then on Thursday nights, we go live. And lately, what we've been doing on it, we call it Tech Talk or something like that. And we'll be working on a bow or whatever. It's pretty much our end of the day, finishing up bows, and we go live. But one night, Stanley Cooper's going to come out here with his tree saddle and do a little demo thing of it on our live feed. So if you're curious about how they work or whatever, we had a guy come out, I think, it was this year, maybe last year, I can't remember, but he had one and kind of showed us how it worked, but he didn't go up a tree with it. Mm-hmm. I think Stanley's going to go up a tree and really show how the whole thing works and everything. So that'll be cool. I don't have an exact date. He just said he had to see what Thursday he could get here, you know, early enough to do it. So
yeah,
that'll be coming up. And then, of course, we have our podcast every week. And then when it wasn't so busy, most Sundays we had some sort of video that came out. And it was either a shooting or a tuning video or whatever, but we hadn't been shooting because of the corona. And it's been so busy. It takes so long to shoot a video, doing the tuning process. We just hadn't put one of those out in a little while. But stay tuned. We got more stuff coming.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's sort of our weekly rundown of what we do. If you're new, and usually on the Thursday night feed, it's been growing because we give away stuff. Mm-hmm. We give away random stuff that we have. We had Jeff Redmond send in a big box of stuff and said, "Here's some stuff, give it all away," and it's some nice stuff, wrist slings and stabilizer accessories and all that. So that's a cool reason to jump on there. We gave away wraps and this, that, and other. Mm-hmm. But that's on Thursday nights on YouTube, 6:30. And like I say, make sure you got an account or whatever through YouTube so you can comment. And we usually have people pick numbers and that sort of thing. So I got to do a better job of advertising when we're going. A lot of people that come in and a lot of people on our Facebook page don't even know we're live on there every week because I forget to post it or whatever. I've only posted it a few times, but that Thursday night thing is every Thursday right around 6:30. We're on there. We're on there. We're always 90% of the time giving away some stuff. So check it out. Check it out. A lot of Broadhead talk lately. Fixed versus mechanical versus whatever. So
I think the big thing now is everybody's wanting a heavy broadhead, and a lot of people are going to single bevels. Yeah. I've been hearing a lot about single bevels here lately.
Old broadheads.
Yep.
But we got several people have shipped in or dropped off arrows or broadheads for us to do a test on, and what we got that will be coming up, like I say, it'll probably be the fall once we calm down a little bit in the shop, but we're going to come up with
there's a bag of them right there.
Yeah, we're going to come up with like a broadhead test course, if you want to call it that, and we're going to do some sort of penetration test, sharpness test, shoot at an angle into some wood and see if it sticks or if it deflects, just all kinds of stuff. And what I've kind of come up with in my head is instead of having 50 broadheads and doing it on one video, just as we get broadheads to test, it'll just say, like Grim Reaper SS broadhead test, and it'll be a little 10-minute test of us giving the specs and then going through this whole thing. And that way, as we get them, we can keep doing videos and it don't have to be one 3-hour long video. Yeah. So that'll be cool once we get all that figured out. But like I say, let us slow down a little bit because it's just so crazy. We can't do it right now.
Yeah.
But,
we'd love to. Don't get us wrong. We'd love to go out there.
I can't wait to start playing with that. Just to see what, even like every day, what's a Muzzy gonna do versus a Grim Reaper versus a whatever, a ramcat or whatever. So that'll be cool. That'll be coming up in the fall. Probably our big thing going on in the fall. What else? We've strung a raven. I might have mentioned it already the other day, and it was not that bad. We hadn't messed with a lot. We've made a lot of raven strings, but we hadn't really messed with them in house that much. And according to some folks we've been talking to, it sounded like you had to be a nuclear physicist to get these things to shoot right. But we kind of found maybe it's because we already know how to tune a bow, and it's pretty much, a lot of, let's say, cheaper Barnett crossbows. There's really nothing to restring them. You just put the string on, it's done. These have got timing dots and a few little quirks, but it's still nothing compared to some of the compound bows. So I guess that's why, going into it, I was like, oh, Lord, this could be a mess according to what we've been told, but it really wasn't nothing special. So
yeah. And plus, we don't have a raven press either, so I don't know. I don't know how it actually worked. The raven.
Yeah, we bought the high dollar, all the stuff to do it on a last chance press, because we don't want to be. I don't know what the word is, but I don't want to take some cheap press and lose a finger, I guess is what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think the Raven press is some little rinky-dink. You use a wrench or a ratchet, or I don't know. I really don't know. I hadn't really looked at it. But anyway, so we use the last chance mini crossbow adapters and all this stuff. And it was, like I say, about like getting the timing right on a compound or whatever, and you cock it and get everything lined up and uncock it and shoot it a few times and let her eat. But so that wasn't too bad. I'm curious to see. There's obviously a lot of people that's got ravens because I see them all the time online. But locally, we really don't have that many people that come in with them or ask about them.
Mm-mm.
So, it's one of them. I would stock a few if I thought people were interested. But we got several box stores in town that I guess Raven last year started selling to. And from what we can tell, it's the same ones that's been hanging there for a year and a half with dust collecting on them. So
yeah.
I guess it takes a certain person to spend around $2,000 or whatever, for a crossbow. But definitely neat little boogers.
Yeah, they are.
But expensive.
Oh yeah.
Old Raven. But anyway, so that's our chat for the day. Thank y'all for watching. Let us know of anything you'd like to see as far as, we got Prime, we got Bear crossbows. Y'all have watched us. Y'all kind of know what we stock and have. Anything we got you'd like to know more about, we could make a video on it or bring it out on one of our shows here. So just let us know what you would like to see.
Yep.
I think there's a lot of interest in this Ranch Fairy thing. So as soon as we get time to do some Ranch Fairy type videos, we will. There's a lot of interest in this Broadhead stuff, so that'll be in the fall. And I feel like people always comment and say, thank you for doing the tuning videos and all that, but it really is the same thing over and over and over and over unless you run into some little quirk and then you fix it. But, you put the strings on. I just feel like, to me, that was getting boring. I know people watch them, a lot, but so anything different we can do other than that, you put the string on, you level everything, you get your timing and cameline right, shoot it through the paper, whatever, tie everything in next. But let us know what else you'd like to see. And I like I say, normally we have shooting videos, but because of the COVID, we hadn't been shooting. So that kind of went out the window. Maybe we could do some more product style review videos or something.
Yeah.
Whatever y'all want to see, we're willing to do it.
That's right.
Maybe y'all could sponsor us to fly to Texas and go on some kind of hunt. I'm kidding, but not really.
Well, I don't know what about flying, but I ain't flying.
Oh, TJ will walk.
Yeah.
I've also thought about that, although YouTube is a little quirky about killing animals on here, but like we could easily go shoot some pigs and video it one night or something to that effect. So I don't know. Maybe that would add some variety of us shooting stuff, but I'd have to look in. I know some people I semi-know, they got their channel shut down because it was violence or whatever. I don't want to get into all that. But if we can do it and not get shut down, it'd be worth looking into.
Maybe we ought to just come up with our own version of Outdoors with TK and Mike.
I think that's what we already got.
Well, that's probably true, too.
I mean, you ain't got no pants on right now.
Oh, yeah.
And
it's been hot.
But anyway, thank y'all for watching. Don't forget about that August 22nd deal. We're giving away all that stuff. Don't forget about our Thursday night live feeds. We always give away stuff. I mean, it's nothing earth-shattering, but it's random wraps and wrist slings and whatever, nose buttons. And so check us out. Get in that group on Facebook, Friends of Archeryshack. We'll try to get it more lively soon. And we hope to see y'all on the next video.
See y'all.
See ya.